Hello, guys, and welcome to Missouri session. My name is Hani, and I am the Education USA advisor at the Fulbright Commission in Prague. And today I've got special guest Celeste. She is a Fulbright grantee. She is an English teaching assistant in Poděbrady for this year, and she's going to take us to Missouri. Thank you, Celeste, for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem, honey. So I am here in my apartment and I'm going to talk to you a bit about going to school in Missouri, which some of you might be considering for as you're considering what university to apply to. So I actually went to graduate school in Missouri, in St. Louis, which is one of the largest cities in Missouri. I did my undergraduate degree, my bachelor's in the state of Massachusetts on the East Coast. And then I did my master's degree, which was in teaching and creative writing in Missouri. And what's next? Let's find out. Why Missouri? Okay, so I really, really recommend studying in Missouri. It's ranked very highly in terms of the United States for popularity with international students. And when I was a student there, I met many international students from South America, from Europe, from different parts of the world who were studying there. So I would say St. Louis, Missouri is a very international friendly city. There's people from many different types of backgrounds there, which is really cool. Uh, as noted on this slide, there are almost 70 universities in Missouri. So there's many, many options. I'm just going to talk about a few of them. And in this slideshow, I will talk about Mizzou, which is the largest university in Missouri, WashU, which is the school I went to for my master's, and SLU, which is another quite popular school. Another school.
Funny names.
Yeah, these are the abbreviations, but it's how you will hear people refer to them. I was a little confused when I first got there, but it makes sense. I've also heard great things about Webster University. I have a friend who teaches there, but it's not in this slideshow, but it's another place to consider. Okay, so, and in this photo, you see the St. Louis Arch, which is a very famous architectural feature of St. Louis. Okay, so where are we? This is from my Google Maps. So you can see I have many flags in the city of St. Louis, probably restaurants and places I marked. WashU is located in St. Louis. SLU is also in St. Louis. Mizzou, Missouri's largest university, is in the city of Columbia, which is west of St. Louis. It's about maybe a 1.5 hour drive. And Jefferson City is the capital city. Okay, so why Missouri? I think it's a great state to experience a lot of different aspects of the United States. There's beautiful nature there, a lot of rivers, lakes, parks, places to go hiking. It's also, we call it the gateway to the Midwest because any state west of Missouri is the Midwest, but it's also very close to the South. So you have a mixture of different cultures there, and you can definitely have really good Southern barbecue. So that's kind of fun. And there's also, because we're close to the Midwest, a lot of farmland. So you can see some very traditional like prairies and other aspects of, I don't know, farm life in this state. Okay. Why Missouri? These are some of my reasons for choosing to go to school there. It's super cheap compared to some other states, such as New York, for example. There are, as I mentioned, many international communities there, places to hike and enjoy nature, interesting wildlife because the state of Missouri has these beautiful prairies. I was able to see herds of bison and moose while I was a student, which was really cool. And it's close to Chicago. So if you're more of a city person, you can visit Chicago, which is an amazing city and very fun to visit. And finally, excellent universities. Hani, do you have any questions or?
Not so far. I mean, I've seen a moose before, and it's just amazing. And it's, I've seen a real moose, not the one in the zoo. But yeah, I am loving it. I'm loving it so far.
Yeah, they have very close to St. Louis. There's a park called Elk Creek or Elk Rock
Mhm,
Creek, and you
mhm,
can go and see so much wildlife there. It's really
mhm,
amazing.
mhm, mhm,
Okay, I included a couple of cons
mhm,
that if you are an undergraduate, you probably won't be able to drive or won't have a car since you'll
mhm,
also be an international student.
mhm,
And that can make visiting some of this nature more difficult because, unlike Europe, Missouri doesn't have great public transit.
mhm,
So sometimes you might have to borrow a car or else you just won't be able to get somewhere.
mhm,
Um, However, as an undergraduate, I don't think that's a very big deal because you'll be spending a lot of your time just with your friends on campus. And that's probably the best part about
mhm,
being at university is just being on campus, going to your classes, meeting friends.
mhm.
So I think it's more of an issue if you are a graduate student. So
I
I
have to
did,
jump. Sorry.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was gonna say that my experience when being an exchange student in the US was, and I was a graduate on a graduate level, but I was living with undergrad students, and it was like they all had cars and they were all super friendly. So guys, just be super friendly and they'll take you on the trips with you. Like all of the Americans that I had the opportunity to meet, they're like, let's do that. And they even took me to Walmart and to Target, and every time they were going in a car, they always offered. So, of course, I didn't have a car, even though I did have my driver's license, but I didn't drive a car in the States. But everyone was so nice to offer. So, yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, you just have to find your friends there on campus.
Yes, absolutely. And remind me where you were.
I was in Pennsylvania. I studied at Moravian University. So, yeah, everybody was so nice.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I think that's 100% true.
Mhm,
So, yeah, there will definitely be students with cars and they will be
mhm,
very welcoming. So you'll have opportunities.
mhm,
Okay, I'm just having a sip of water
mhm.
and
Oh, I see that the next one is culture shock. Oh, yeah. Definitely agree.
yes, I would say I grew up in Oregon. So I grew up on the West Coast and then I'm suddenly in Missouri. And even though I'm from the US, I'm American, I still had culture shock.
Mhm,
So if you're coming from a different country, from Europe, from the Czech Republic, you may also have culture shock.
mhm,
You will, um, I think Missouri is a very stereotypically American state.
mhm,
So things that are really important to people would include, football, American football.
mhm.
Um, I mentioned barbecue. You might meet people who have never had the opportunity to leave Missouri. They might have don't they might not even have a passport.
Mhm,
So their views about the world might seem to you a little strange or a little closed-minded, and it could be they just haven't had the chance to travel and don't know as much about other places.
mhm.
So this could be surprising, but I also think it's a really good experience and um, a very valuable way to just, learn more about others and about yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. And I took this opportunity to, I don't want to say educate, but just to share, information about Europe, about the Czech Republic. So you guys, people will be asking you, where you're from. So get ready for answering a lot of questions about the Czech Republic, sometimes Czechoslovakia. So, you know, just don't get offended that they don't know everything right. I understand that. And just take it as an opportunity to tell them, what's happening here and they should really visit. Right, Celeste?
Yes. Yes, 100%. And you will be at university or, or a college. So you will meet really smart people who will know. But you might meet yeah, you might meet some students who don't know, or if you're interacting with, say, their parents,
Mhm,
type
mhm,
of those people in the community might um not know anything about the Czech Republic. So they would be, I think, really excited to meet you.
mhm. Cool.
Okay. Mhm. Next, we will talk about WashU. This is where I went.
Mhm,
So the full name is Washington University in St. Louis.
mhm,
It's a private university. It has about 15,000 students.
mhm,
Um, it includes a 4-year undergraduate program.
mhm,
And then there are many opportunities for graduate study.
mhm,
And WashU also has a medical school, a social work school, and a law school, as well as a very cool visual arts school.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
art and design, I think.
mhm,
So I really recommend it because whether you are interested in biology and becoming a doctor, or you're more interested in the arts,
mhm,
the presence of these graduate programs is going to give you so many opportunities
mhm,
as an undergraduate
mhm.
to maybe participate in some really groundbreaking research, or to just have access to these amazing professors and faculty. Um, and yeah, all of my classes were really organized. I was very impressed with this university. I have no I had no negative experiences here. It was really
Okay,
wonderful.
that's cool. My question
Yeah.
would be, you say you were in education and creative writing? Okay.
Yes.
Can you explain a little more for students who are thinking about graduate studies in the US? How does it work with like assistantships or mentorships? Did you have any opportunities in this area
For me to be a mentor or to have a mentor?
to be
To be a mentor.
to apply for assistantship or for mentorship or something like that?
So I was a graduate teaching assistant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I had for the create master's in creative writing, which was my degree.
Mm-hmm.
I had WashU is one of the few programs in the country that offers a full scholarship. So for me, it was really wonderful. I did not have to pay tuition, and I also received a stipend, a living stipend. But in exchange for that living stipend, I was teaching.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's exactly, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was teaching undergraduates, and this is true for every department. So if you want to, maybe you speak French and
Mm-hmm.
you want to go to graduate school and get a PhD in French language, and you choose WashU,
Mm-hmm.
you would be teaching some undergraduates some courses in French, but your studies would be paid for.
Okay. Well, that's a great deal. Does that apply to internationals as well?
Okay. I should have
We
looked
will
that up.
Google it.
You will have to Google it. I'm not 100% sure,
Mhm,
but I know that there's a graduate student union, and
mhm.
based on the union meetings I went to, I think it does apply to international students.
Okay.
Um,
And how long did it take you to finish your grad school?
my program was 2 years.
Mhm, mhm. Can you potentially finish earlier, maybe in a year and a half?
Not with my program.
Okay, fair enough. Good. Mhm,
Okay, so next we will look at a few more parts. This is the campus. It's
mhm.
very beautiful. And in Missouri, you will get the Four Seasons. So my former teacher, just emailed me and he said it's freezing in Missouri as it is here in the Czech Republic.
Uh-huh.
In the summer there, it is extremely humid and hot.
Mhm,
So you will get the Four Seasons there.
mhm, mhm. It looks
And
beautiful, by the way. Like the library, it's like from Harry Potter, like very British style.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, really a beautiful campus.
Wow. Hmm.
Okay, so I was a graduate student, so mostly I was just working on my thesis, but as an undergraduate, you can get involved in a ton of different clubs. They have sports, recreational teams. Um, this is a picture of the main street
Hmm.
called the Loop, which is 10 minutes walking distance from campus, and it's a big street with tons of bars and restaurants.
Hmm.
So yeah, people call that the Loop, and you can also, buy clothes or buy things you need on that street.
Hmm.
Okay. Next, we'll talk about Mizzou,
Hmm.
or the University of Missouri in Columbia.
Hmm.
University. So this is a public university, so it has a higher acceptance rate than WashU.
Hmm.
So it's a bit easier to get into, but it's still an excellent, excellent school. It's also larger than WashU, so you have twice as many students. And again, it has a very high ranking as a public university, so you'll get a very good education there.
Mhm.
I found some interesting stuff on their website. They look like they have very good resources for, finding jobs or talking to people about career paths, and yeah, it seems great.
That's amazing, because I think we are lacking a little bit in the Czech Republic in that career service development something because you choose the major, you finish your school, but then it's mostly up to you to find a job. And I feel that some students are a little lost because they had to choose the major right away. It doesn't work like in the US where you have got 2 years still to decide, that curriculum is kind of open. So sometimes they find themselves after the 3 years, we have got 3 years for bachelors. They're like, oh, this is not the field I want to work in. So having that opportunity to discuss my future career with a professional, right, is really beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And even I know they had this at WashU, but I'm sure it would happen at Mizzou. They have career days or career, what do you call it? Career
The fair.
fairs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
So different companies will come and have booths and you can go talk to people and yeah.
So cool.
Okay. And again, you will find many different clubs here because it is a big state school, and
Mhm.
that's just how we describe large public universities. We could say big state school. It will have a football team,
Mhm.
and so you can do a very American, going to the Mizzou football game,
Mhm.
which would be, I've never been, but I'm sure it will be wild. But if you're not into football, I'm positive that you could find other groups there that you connect with.
Sure, yeah. Were you a part of any club or team or something when you were studying either undergrad or graduate school?
Yeah, many. Let's see. In undergraduate at Williams College in Massachusetts, I did cross country, so I was
Oh,
running.
uh-huh.
And then what else was I doing? I was involved with a student-run coffee shop and we hosted art programs,
Mhm.
like a community center. And then I was also a TA or like a teaching assistant for
Mhm.
a lot of my classes. Um, and then
Super ambitious.
yeah, I was really busy.
Mhm.
I did much less in graduate school.
Mhm. Mhm.
So in graduate school, I was either just, well, it was also during the pandemic, so I
Yeah.
didn't.
Mhm. That explains a lot. Yeah.
I briefly got involved in the student union, and we were mostly just talking about, how to how to teach during COVID, and
Mhm. Mhm.
that's all.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
important too. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Last one. So this is St. Louis University. It's called SLU. You can pronounce it like this. And I didn't go there, but I had a friend from undergraduate who I studied with who was there for medical school.
Mhm.
So again, SLU is a large university that in addition to the undergrad program, it has graduate programs, a medical school, and a law school.
Mhm.
I also thought this was really interesting. They have a partner campus, a partner university in Madrid.
Wow. So you
So
can you go as an international to the US to Missouri, and then you go as an international to Spain to Madrid, and then you go back. Wow.
not necessarily,
Okay.
but you could.
And so can you spend your undergrad in Madrid and still get a degree from St. Louis?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
I have to look into it, but I think you would apply to the Madrid campus, but
Mhm.
it would say something like, I actually should look it up, but maybe like,
It's fine. We can look it up. If somebody wants to know, he can look it up, he or she. But it would be because, I can understand that for Czech students, moving all the way across the big pond can be a little scary. So starting off in Madrid and then maybe for the second year moving to Missouri can be more like, yeah, I can do that. But going all the way to Missouri right away can be a little like intimidating, I guess. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so curious that I'm looking it up, but
that's fine. This is actually not the first school that I heard has this opportunity. I heard that there are some schools who have campuses in Rome, Italy, you know. So I think that there it's a very nice like middle step between like the United States that are so far away that you can study in Europe closer to home and then you would just move away. Yeah.
and you are right. I just have it on my phone here. It's you can complete it's called St. Louis University in Madrid, so your
Mhm,
degree would
mhm,
say that. And
mhm.
you can either do the whole thing at SLU Madrid, or you can start your degree in Madrid and finish it in St. Louis. So you were right.
That's really cool. I really like that opportunity. And I think that, you know, doing it all in Madrid when you have that opportunity to explore the US would be like, oh, you know, I would just take advantage of both if they have that
Yeah.
without being like a transfer student or something, because I understand that you would just take the credits you earn in Madrid and just move them to Missouri. So, oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
So I'm learning something new too. This is great. It is a private Jesuit university, so Catholic, which makes sense with Madrid since Spain's a Catholic country,
Mhm,
more or less. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't think they would force you to. Um, I don't know if there's any required religious component, but you should look that up.
mhm,
Uh, I'm positive that students choose this university who aren't Catholic,
mhm,
but you might have to participate in some religious, maybe religious classes or programming. I'm
mhm,
not sure.
mhm, mhm,
Something to keep in mind. Um, and all three of these universities have Greek life. I only
mhm,
put it on this slide, but all three of them, you would have the opportunity to join a fraternity or sorority if you wanted to.
mhm. That's something we don't have in the Czech Republic. Could you explain a little more, please?
Yes, I was not part of Greek life
Mhm,
because it's more for undergraduates.
mhm,
And my undergraduate school, Williams College, we did not have Greek life.
mhm,
Um, and let's see, it's usually for larger schools.
mhm.
So it's this system where you can join a community and they have them. I don't know, I'm bad at explaining this. But you
It's a group of girls and boys. They're separate.
They're separate. So
Mhm,
fraternities are for the boys and
mhm,
sororities are for the girls,
uh-huh,
women. And you live together. So
uh-huh,
if you were a woman in a sorority, you would live with your sorority sisters
mhm,
and you sometimes do community service activities together. And
mhm.
then you,
Okay, we froze, right? So sorry, but we're good. Um, I heard something, I'm not sure whatever will be, you know, seen or visible. I don't know how guys will see it. Hopefully, you know, guys, if you are interested in sororities and fraternities, I think it's that Kappa Kappa Delta something when we know it from the TV, right? Okay. So, is there any benefit? Because I get that you live with the community, you do some extra community, I don't know, something, but do you get any benefit from doing that extra work, or is that just because of the sense that you're doing something for the community?
um, I think the benefit is mostly just social, that you feel that you have this group of people that has your back and that you can be living with. Um, but I would say it's just as good to join a club or join a sports team.
Mhm,
So it really just depends on you if you want that built-in community or not. I
mhm.
think maybe after graduating, some sororities and fraternities have, reunion events.
Okay. Mhm,
So it's something that it's a community that maybe can last longer
Mhm.
after college.
So cool. Hmm.
Okay, what else? And yes, I also found out that SLU has an International Student Federation, and this is a
Hmm.
picture from one of their events, so it looks fun.
Yeah, so cool.
And I think that's it. So,
Awesome. Thank you for taking us to Missouri and thank you for presenting all those schools, guys. If you have any following questions, you can send them to the advisor at fulbright.cz or type them underneath the live stream or just send me a PM on social media under Education USA Czech. If you have any questions for Celeste regarding graduate studies or even undergrad, as she did in Massachusetts, please let me know. I'll be happy to forward it to Celeste. And we are happy that you are watching. Thank you, Celeste, for joining. Thank you for walking us through Missouri. And I hope that you put Missouri schools on your college list. Thank you. Bye.
bye.